Congratulations, you've spawned into the Tau Empire, unlike 99% of the galaxy's population who are currently waking up in irradiated mud, praying to a corpse or being processed into nutrient paste. You've pulled the golden ticket. You wake up in a sterile, brightly lit incubator. The corridors are spotless, the lighting is soft, and the overall aesthetic looks like your entire planet was designed by Apple. There's no poverty, no plagues, and the local broadcast doesn't feature anyone being aggressively downsized on a pyre for heresy. Sounds like a sci-fi paradise, right? Spoiler alert, it's just a very sleek corporate cage with excellent Wi-Fi. You don't suffer from career anxiety here. Your entire life path was finalized long before you were born, thanks to a strict caste system. The air-cased, pilots with hollow bones. The earth-cased, engineers and builders. The water-cased, silver-tongued diplomats. And you? You were born with increased muscle mass, accelerated reflexes, and a distinct deficit in your self-preservation instinct. You are Shas, the fire-cased, the militant HR department of this galactic startup. Intercaste relationships are strictly forbidden. Your society practices full-blown eugenics, but your managers politely refer to it as optimizing the talent pool for the greater good. The greater good, Tuava, is your corporate mission statement, your philosophy, and the only reason you clock in every morning. Everything is for the collective. Individuality isn't a feature here. It's a critical system error. On graduation day, you're issued a pulse rifle. This isn't a rusty pipe that explodes in your hands like Imperial plasma. It's an elegant masterpiece of engineering that launches plasma payloads at a distance where the enemy looks like a low-res pixel. Your tactical handbook is based on Monka, the killing blow, and Kauyan, the patient hunter. You strike from ambushes and aggressively optimize your enemies out of existence from afar. In your company culture, engaging in melee combat is considered a gross violation of social distancing protocols and a catastrophic logistical failure. You are assigned a support drone. Unlike the Imperium servitors, which are made out of lobotomized interns, your drone features a legitimate sentient AI. It's smart, it has a personality, and its ultimate career goal is to enthusiastically catch an anti-tank missile with its mechanical face just to make sure your key performance indicators don't drop. Now that is corporate loyalty. But since your species struggles with close quarters conflict, the company hires subcontractors. Enter the Kroot. These are 2-meter-tall avian mercenaries who have a habit of consuming defeated competitors right on the battlefield to absorb their DNA. Your water-cased PR rep asks you to practice tolerance and refer to this as immersive cultural onboarding. You tried very hard not to look as your Kroot colleague loudly digests an orc's leg to update his genetic software. Then there are the Vespids, highly efficient insectoids. Initially, they weren't too keen on a merger with your empire. But then the Earth-cased issued their leaders special communion helms. The moment the bugs put them on, they suddenly became fiercely passionate about the greater good. Mind control? No, don't be silly. It's just a very persuasive translation headset. Above you all sit the ethereals, the C-suite executives of your species. When an ethereal walks into the room, your doubts evaporate. You are flooded with an absolute fanatical devotion. Imperial biologists suspect they use pheromones or latent mind control. Once an ethereal simply requested that a water-caste diplomat initiate a mandatory self-liquidation protocol, and she did it with zero hesitation.
The ethereals control the entire narrative. They even covered up the permanent severance of your supreme ethereal, Anava. He was forcibly retired by an imperial assassin, but management decided that a drop in employee morale was unacceptable. So now, you take orders from an AI-generated hologram. You are ready to lay down your life for a CEO who is literally made of pixels and pre-recorded corporate buzzwords.
Congratulations on your promotion. You are assigned to the Fourth Sphere expansion, the most ambitious franchising effort in Tall history. The Earth-cased has engineered a new slipstream drive, combining Imperial tech and Kroot engine designs. It's supposed to allow faster-than-light travel. A massive fleet lines up. You activate the engines simultaneously, and you accidentally rip a gaping hole in the fabric of reality. Welcome to the Immaterium. The Tarzan have no psychers. You've never traveled through the warp. Most importantly, you don't have Geller fields, the spiritual firewalls that keep the nightmare dimension outside the ship. You just drove into hell with the windows rolled down. Space and time cease to function. Outside the hull, unsanctioned metaphysical competitors' demons begin scratching at the metal. These entities of pure malice zero in on your alien subcontractors, the humans and Kroot, because their souls light up the warp. You watch as the allied fleet is aggressively digested alive, and your analytical mind simply cannot process the spreadsheet for this level of horror. Everything is trending towards a total departmental wipe. But suddenly, something even more impossible appears in the swirling madness. A colossal, multi-armed, glowing entity. It has no face, but it radiates an aura of structured order. It extends its countless limbs, tears a new hole in the warp storm, and yanks your fleet back into standard space. Your atheistic, logic-driven brain requires a reboot. What was that? Here is the ultimate market analysis. The Turau Empire employs billions of human defectors and other aliens. Unlike you, they have warp-sensitive souls, and they have a terrible habit of believing in things. You allowed them to integrate your corporate philosophy of the greater good into their local superstitions. They prayed to your slogan. They built shrines to it. And in the warp, where emotions coalesce into reality, their collective brand loyalty accidentally spawned a literal living god of the greater good, an entity named Tova. Your subcontractors literally prayed a deity into the market. Your strictly secular philosophy of peace and logic has mutated into a magical multi-armed warp monster. For the Tavu, this isn't salvation. This is unacceptable brand infringement and a profound, incomprehensible blasphemy. The survivors of the fourth sphere, including you, develop severe collective PTSD. A terrifying new corporate policy forms in your minds. Your alien allies are a critical safety hazard. Their emotions and their faith act as a beacon for dimensional anomalies. You make the only logical business decision. You begin a workforce optimization purge. In total secrecy from the rest of the empire, you start sending your auxiliary partners on one-way assignments. Those who survive, you quietly terminate yourselves. You even forge a temporary B2B partnership with the Imperium's Dark Angels, helping them off the books so they can help you downsize your own staff. Eventually, the ethereals discover you survived. They see the horrific PR nightmare you've become, and they heavily redact the entire incident. You are reassigned back to the front lines. The franchise must expand. You charge your pristine pulse rifle. Your AI drone happily chirps. A hologram of your dead CEO projects from the loudspeakers. And somewhere in the warp, the multi-armed god of your PR department is watching you. Have a highly productive shift, Shas. And remember, it's all for the greater good. Please stay on the line for a brief post-deployment employee satisfaction survey. Your feedback is completely anonymous. Any rating below 5 stars will result in immediate reassignment to the Kroot feeding pits. Thank you for choosing the Tau Empire.